Hey guys, and welcome back to Top Cheddar Sports. It is Tuesday. I'm Spencer, and we are talking about how dogs hate grapes. How the fuck are they supposed to know what we're talking about if I'm not wearing the right goddamn shirt? Alright, so we're talking about the best in the West in the NBA. That's what we're actually talking about because it's Tuesday. So we're talking about the Warriors, the Nuggets, Blazers, who finished first, second, and third respectively. But we're going to work in reverse order, starting with the Blazers. So the Blazers started their offseason out by trading Evan Turner to the Hawks for Kent Bazemore. They also drafted Nasir Little, who, at the value that they got him, I think was a great pick. Very athletic, and I definitely think he's going to translate well to the NBA. Don't really know if any bona fide stars truly came out of the draft outside of like maybe the top 5, but Little seems like a sure bet to actually make an impact in the NBA. They then signed some veterans to add to the depth with Anthony Tolliver, Mario Hezonja, I believe, and Pau Gasol. They then gave the Heat salary relief by taking on Hassan Whiteside and finished out their offseason by paying Rodney Hood, CJ McCollum, and Dame all a pretty penny to stay with the team. With a starting 5 of Lillard, McCollum, Hood, Zach Collins, and Whiteside, and then a bench that provides good experience in Tolliver, Bazemore, Gasol, and then some young fast-paced abilities from Little, the Blazers should be considered a serious threat to give some of these Super 2s a run for their money at the top of the West. Next up is the Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets may very well be the best put together roster, building around one true superstar. Nikola Jokic is their bona fide star, without a doubt, but the roster is filled out nicely with Paul Millsap, and thanks to a contract extension given to Jamal Murray. Torrey Craig and Gary Harris fill out the starting 5, but they also have Malik Beasley and Will Barton right behind them, kind of as your maybe 6th, 7th guys off the bench, giving the 2 lessers of the starting 5 quick relief. They're both very capable and honestly are solid bench pieces in my opinion. Next you have Mason Plumlee and Jeremy Grant, who they received after sending what will likely be a late first round pick to Oklahoma City Thunder. They provide even more serviceable bodies. Grant, very athletic, played well in his time in OKC. Then you also get deeper when you go and see that they have Monte Morris, Michael Porter Jr., Juan Hernangomez, and Bol Bol, all of whom are still fairly young and are more than capable of handling a large share of minutes that they won't even receive because of the players that are in front of them. So this bench, just tier after tier after tier, it's going to be solid 1 through 13. It's extremely well put together roster that didn't have to do too much this offseason, frankly, to give them a great chance at making another deep push into the playoffs. Honestly, the Nuggets may be one of my favorites to win the West, given that they did nothing this offseason, really. All right, lastly, the Warriors. Now, we're talking about these teams that should win the West, and it's kind of hard to imagine any team but the Warriors sitting atop that throne. This is probably going to be that year. Losing Kevin Durant is definitely going to change this team. That's one guy beyond Durant. They also lost Jordan Bell, who was very serviceable for them. Andre Iguodala, who was a great leader on that team. DeMarcus Cousins, who at the very least is a talent, even though he only played there 1 year. And Quinn Cook, who provides some sharp shooting off the bench. That the Warriors typically draft smart, nabbing guys who they know can make an impact at the value that they are getting them at, bodes well for the Warriors. So they hope that Jordan Poole and Eric Pascal can be that serviceable bodies off the bench that they don't have to pay a lot so that they can keep paying their stars. Steph and Draymond, who was signed to a fresh contract return for the Warriors, though they'll be missing the other splash bro, who also received an extension, Klay Thompson. For a good bit of the upcoming season to try and counteract that, the Warriors went out and traded for D'Angelo Russell. It was kind of a head-scratching move. People aren't really sure how he's going to pair with Steph. Beyond that, people are saying that, maybe he's just a trade piece once they get Thompson back. But really, that just makes it all the more questionable that they would do this. Regardless, I think they see him as the guy who can take over for Clay while Clay's out, to do some of the scoring and share that load. Beyond that, the other two spots that are left are for Willie Cauley-Stein or Kevin Looney at the center position, and then Alfonso McKinney or Alec Burks, basically starting over Clay while he's out. Jacob Evans and Glenn Robinson should prove to be serviceable off the bench, and technically there is depth here. But that starting five is just nowhere near what the Warriors have been putting out there. I really have a hard time believing that this team is going to win the West and sit atop once again, given the off seasons and teams that have been put together to try and, take down the juggernaut that they were. We shall see. It should be interesting. That does it for the West. That does it for this episode of Top Trash Sports. Go ahead and let us know down in the comments, who do you think is coming out of the West? I am, after doing the research, I'm going to put my money on the Nuggets, seeing as they were just one game back of the Warriors this year. And in my opinion, they improved. So a lot of young talent there, and they've got a good star in the Joker. So my money's on the Nuggets. Other great options would be like the Rockets, the Lakers, obviously. The Clippers are pretty deep as well. What do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. I'll see you back here Monday.